Summoners, how are you doing today? IPL5 Qualifiers Taiwan edition. Gonna finish up with Group A today.
It's like the real world. Whenever we say IPL5 Taiwan edition, it's a either a soap opera or a reality TV show that we're running here.
Well, I mean, in a kind of it kind of is in some aspects. It is.
We need the groovy background music. That's always gonna work for me.
Nah, I think we're good with that though. We can leave that for TSM Santa Monica edition, but we can. But today though, it's still gonna be. Got a treat for you on the Friday.
It's this room. Yeah.
Got a treat for you on the Friday. Doubleheader here. Gonna finish out the group stage with 2 Taipei Assassins matches.
Doubleheader, best of one.
Best of ones.
It's a treat, but it's not like it's not like it's
Well, it's still
it is a
it's
treat.
still though. I mean,
We'll
it's the conclusion of Group A, and we're gonna find out who goes on, who goes to the wild card. So in first match, you're gonna see Taipei Assassins versus HaNa.
Yeah.
But we've already established, HaNa, they're 0-2 at this point.
Yeah.
But this is what I used to call playing in Magic. This is the Dream Crush potential.
Oh, it's the spoiler. That's true. It's the spoiler match.
It's a potential for a Dream Crush, and sometimes this happens in group play. But after that though, Alwyn Carey and Taipei Assassins are going to be playing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty entertaining in its own. Now we've already established time to terminate. They ended the group stage 1-2, so not likely we're going to be seeing them go on either. But it's pretty much established where Alwyn Carey and Taipei Assassins are going to be the two moving on. It's just a matter of who's in first and who's in second. We're going to find it out today, and we're going to go ahead and load up the replay in just a moment. But I do have the picks and bans here.
Perfect.
For the first game. So we'll start it out, HaNa and TPA. The bans, Morgana, Rise, Ari for HaNa. Taipei Assassins banning out Shen, TF, and Mundo.
Okay, so very cool. Shen, TF, Mundo, what was Morgana, Rise, and
Ari.
Okay, so yeah, banning out a couple of mids and banning out some tanky globals.
And guess who's not banned?
A lot of people. I couldn't really get on the list.
primarily, one of the.
Oh,
yeah.
Alistar is not banned. There's the answer for you guys. It's like a mystery, who's that Pokemon? It's Alistar. Little Ball's going to be getting it. Does he actually pick it?
Well,
or did they pick it first?
HaNa first picked Tarek.
Okay, so there we go.
And in retaliation, Taipei Assassins grabs, get this, Alistar and Vayne. Going to go back to HaNa, Nautilus, Graves. Taipei Assassins then grabs Galio, Janna. HaNa, their last two are going to be Victor and Vlad. We'll get to that in a second. And then the last pick for TPA is going to be Nidalee.
Wow, so really interesting. The Nidalee pick is kind of the most interesting one. I'm assuming it's going to be an 80 Nidalee. If you actually pull up the stats real quick.
Let's go to the Nidalee
because
and find out.
It's against Vladimir. And so as a counter pick against Vladimir, yes, it is 80 Nidalee. So
yes.
as a counter pick against Vladimir, you have 80 Nidalee, you can wear down Vladimir very easily, and any AD versus like an AP top like Vladimir, you very easily win that lane. And so it's actually a really strong matchup for Taipei Assassins there. Little Balls in the jungle. We've gone over again and again how fantastic his coordination is and how strong he is. But we'll have to see. I mean, it's an all-around strong team. A lot of it's primarily built around Vayne. It's about getting Vayne fed and letting Vayne just win the game. So they have 3 support champs. Really, it's like 4 support champs. Nidalee's like half and half. Doesn't really count that much, but we'll counter. So, she is going to be very safe with Janna and Galio and, just going to sit back and have a party.
And usually, with the first 2 picks being Alistar or Vayne, you'd assume that would be like the kill combo. You'd assume that's what's going to happen bot lane, but TPA, as we've seen before, if you watched our recent top 5 too, Alistar in the jungle, Little Balls, he can be quite a huge monster in the jungle with Alistar. And he's you build the move 5 boots on him. Once he gets 6, he's just pretty tanky. He's pretty unstoppable. Right,
and then Bebe, a lot of people consider him arguably the best AD carry in the world. And we haven't seen the head-to-head competitions to prove it yet. I'm really excited to start seeing some of those. But, regardless, when you have a high-skill player playing Vayne, it's always something to behold. Tarek and Graves is a really aggressive bottom lane. They have so much burst damage that, they're really going to try and set Vayne behind early. If they can, maybe pick her off or pick off Janna. But Janna with the Whirlwinds, they should be pretty safe. They will need to watch out. But Vayne does actually, even though Vayne is short range, Vayne actually outranges Graves. Graves is such a short range champion. But we'll have to see. Mid lane, going to be a boring lane, really. Galio, is just perfectly safe against anyone. Victor really won't have a good opportunity to shut him down. So it'll primarily be farm, and then maybe we'll see that teleport somewhere for a fight.
Now, Victor is not someone you commonly see in mid. From what I've been told, he's kind of like a bit of a solo queue stomper at times. But, competitive play don't seem too much. But you got little balls coming from behind. He is targeted out. The headbutt Qualifiers will just keep him distracted. The power exchange will go ahead, give him that nice little shield. So what's where's the advantage? Where does the advantage lie in picking Victor? Is there one?
Is there one? Is he just the worst champion ever, and they picked him for no reason?
Did he?
No,
Did they?
No, that's not the case. A lot of people don't play Victor. He has a number of issues, primarily, the fact that he's kind of short range, but he does have a lot of damage. Like, his burst damage is just phenomenal. You pair him against someone like Vayne, and you can burst Vayne down very easily. And so now the big thing is that I think a lot of people forget is Victor has a silence on his ultimate. In the meantime, Little Ball's coming up, and Vlad is level 2. He will have the pull, so he should be able to get out of there, but he is going to take some damage. Little Ball's, there it is, the pull perfectly timed, so only taking a little bit of health.
Yeah, nice time on that. That is just, it was like right before the headbutt connects. No movement, no displacement, no any of that, and just being able to walk away pretty safe. And Little Ball's just going to have to go ahead back right to the jungle. 2 attempted ganks, nothing quite yet, but you get a nice timed whirlwind as well to just cancel out the dash from Graves. One more shot and go get some true damage on that, but no, we'll pass on that opportunity. Yeah,
and again, the nice thing with Victor is his burst damage, when you have a short-range carry like Vayne, is going to walk right into all of it, and then the silence. So the silence, it will get rid of Galio's ultimate. Victor can cancel it. And then also, the silence is really disruptive for Vayne when she needs to be using her abilities. It's a short silence. It's only like a half second or something. But it's still, somewhat disruptive. Yeah. So we'll see how that works. And he can push lanes very easily. So, pushers in the mid lane are always nice.
And the silence, I mean, it's the fact that it is a silence. Length against like some champions like Galio, it's like if you just manage to get the silence off while he's ulting, it's like, okay, well, just the ult's done. Who cares how long the silence is?
Right, well, that's, yeah.
Yeah, so... But down here, Bali, nice condemn into the wall onto Tarek. A little bit extra damage on him. But that's the thing, though, about an aggressive lane like Graves, Tarek. Jana, she's very passive, could drain you away. But there is the Nautilus hook, not going to get the Galio, just grabs the mini. But Alistar is here to try and help. He's not gonna bother going in there.
Yeah, Victor's actually getting some nice harass onto Toys right now, and he is actually really strong in lane. He has that nice range harass with his death rate. If you can hit it, he can exchange very easily with the range damage, and actually Lil Ball's coming in once again. He is going to get him this time. There's the headbutt and the pulverize. He's a little bit into tower range, so unfortunately won't be able to take him down. But regardless, he's out of mana.
Look at the mana. It's just, it's pretty much done. And you also notice, no purchase into the field. Into
Nautilus
the stun.
is coming mid again, though.
Oh, yes, he is. Yes, he is. And there he is, right from behind. Galio's a little bit too far out. Does get ignited. Does flash just in time to avoid the hook. Will get to safety. A lot of attempts from the junglers on both teams, not really capitalizing, but Galio will be forced to back. Victor will stay in lane just for a little while longer, but he's coming in from behind. This tries to get the headbutt, but once again, a fantastic flash on the side of HaNa. First top lane, now bot lane. They got that flash timing down.
Yeah, call me Yao, yes sir. Really nice job by him. Tarek going to be warding here. He's putting himself a little bit out of position. It's, they're nice wards. That one actually probably could have been up a little bit more so you can get vision down the path. But it's kind of risky to, walk that far out into the river, particularly when you knew that, Alistar was nearby. But he is fine. He'll be heading back towards bottom lane. In the meantime, Graves doing a nice job of keeping up with Vayne. That should be a pretty safe lane for them to farm. And then once they have a little bit more burst, once Graves hits 6, maybe we can see some kills going down onto Vayne to try and shut Baby down.
But I mean, I really like that ward coverage though, because I mean, it's getting to that point in the game. Alistar, he wants to be mobile. He's going to be getting those movement 5 boots, and they just want to make sure they have vision on wherever he may be. So now they've acknowledged, I was like, okay, we got vision on him. We know he's around our red, so HaNa needs to be a little bit more careful, and they may even try to attempt a gank on him while he's trying to steal their stuff. But he did take the blue wraith. He is going to be moving around. And there he is. He's going to get caught out by Nautilus. The hook does grab him, but the pulverize will keep him still just for a moment. Will not. He's just going to be chasing him away. So it's a real battle of the junglers here right now. They're looking for their opportunities. Both of them are really attempting those ganks, but not getting a whole lot from it.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Graves actually taking some damage. There's the
there's
exhaust and
the
the teleport
teleport.
from Galio. Toys, will he hit the slow? Yes, he does. And so one more attack will be able to do it.
Nice.
He actually used his ultimate to get that first blood. Probably not necessary. There was actually one more attack from Vayne in mid-air when he used the ultimate. But even so, picking up that first blood is huge. And Alistar actually getting some nice gold in the mid as a result.
Yeah, so now Galio, he needs to travel on back to mid. This is still, some free opportunities here for Victor, but even though he has all of this free lane time to himself, he's fallen behind in farm. Galio got the first blood. He's got some extra gold on him, and each kill is about like 20 creeps. And now there's a pretty decent lead in the mid that Toys has over Victor. But Victor's gonna be past the blue. He's gonna go ahead and have that for himself back in the mid. And let's also take a look. Since we did not really all too commonly played, still no points of gravity field. Death Ray is looking to be maxed out first. He's he is 6. He has his ultimate.
That's actually usually how you'll build Victor now. Is you just ignore the W, you max out your Death Ray, and then sometimes you'll max Q after it. Sometimes you'll throw in a point of W at some point. But usually you ignore it for the longest time because it's really in lane. It's just a mana sink. There's no reason for you to get it. It eats into your mana pool. It doesn't really help you that much because it's difficult. But Nautilus
coming out
coming
here.
up top.
The hook will not get to the Nidalee. Does close the gap though, but will not get the auto attack. The ult from Vlad going down, but nothing going to be happening afterwards.
I'm surprised he didn't get the attack for the snare. So Stanley is going to be safe. And so far we've seen Nidalee doing an excellent job against Vladimir in the top lane. Not completely shutting him down, but even so doing a really nice job there.
Refreshing the ward over by TPA's blue. Tarek's going to go ahead and take care of that. But Alistar, early oracles. Move 5 boots right into oracles. Wants to go ahead and reduce all of the ward vision. He knows, you see the inventory on all these champs as they're returning into lane. It's like, okay, there's a lot of wards. I want to be mobile, and Alistar, he's been shut down quite a bit in these gank attempts, and a lot of it is just due to good warding from HaNa. So if he can actually make a kill before losing the oracles, if he loses the oracles, we don't even know yet. The money will be definitely worth it, but he's got to go ahead. He's got to get that kill first.
Yeah, but I mean, he is even with Nautilus right now, and both of them are extremely aggressive junglers. So, neither of them are that far behind that it's really a concern. They're even with bottom lane. We do see Alistar coming mid once again. Alistar is a little bit behind on gold because Nautilus went for that fast Philosopher's Stone, but he will be fine. Actually, walking right into Tarek, he should be able to get out of there. He is level 6. No one's around, so no big deal.
Yeah, just hey, stun, chatter. I'm here, just so you know. Just not really a whole lot going to be coming from that. But Nidalee is coming on down, and it looks like Taipei Assassins are going to be going ahead and grabbing the dragon real quick, as quickly as they can. Actually, Victor's nearby. Death Ray out of they've pulled the dragon out of the pit, so Death Ray is actually not going to touch anything, and they're able to secure for themselves pretty quickly. Yeah,
Nidalee's damage is actually really strong for the dragon. Galio, he has his shield, so he can keep his regen up. There wasn't an issue of him getting low, which is kind of a concern with Alistar. He will get kind of low with Dragon usually. So no big deal. They get the nice gold advantage. Nautilus has to go back to his lane, see if he can get some ganks. He might come down toward bottom lane because, Alistar's coming down, and I think Alistar's expecting Nautilus to come because it is an aggressive lane with Tarek and Graves. If you combine that with Nautilus, very easily you're going to pick up a kill.
Not to mention the fact his flash is up, so in an opportune time, if they decide to push up too far, you can just go ahead and flash over the wall for headbutt pulverize. But he does use it. The headbutt pulverize onto Tarek. He flashes away in response. They're getting now under tower range, popping the ult on Alistar. You don't want to be losing that oracles right now, though. One more shot, he should be just barely okay. And it's they're looking for a push. They're looking for the kill. Just did not get it.
Yeah, and Graves actually doing a nice job kiting them backwards, getting in those auto attacks as he's trying to position himself. He is pretty low, throws off the ultimate to try and dissuade Vayne there for a second. He needs to go back, and unfortunately, because of that gank, he's actually going to miss a lot of golden experience. So even though, they didn't get a kill, they burned 2 flashes, and they're missing out. Oh, the kill from Bebe!
Look at that. So much damage just coming in from the Vayne. One tumble was more than enough to take out that last huge chunk onto Graves.
Greed.
Greedy. But hey, sometimes greed is good sometimes.
Sometimes, but he saw that he was going to miss out on a lot of golden experience because he had waves pushing into his tower. It was going to set him behind, so he was trying to see, all right, let me just sit back just a tiny bit longer. I'm about to hit a level. Just, a fraction more. So it opened up an opportunity.
The flash over the wall. Nautilus will get the death charge down on the Nidalee, followed up by the hook and the root. Vlad ult going down. The damage, but it will not be enough and Nidalee can get away from ganks pretty easily, even after all that damage. But Nautilus trying to go ahead and steal those golems. Will get another root onto Nidalee, but she should be fine.
Yeah, and there you actually see Victor actually is leveling up his W for the stun. We will have a little bit of a gank here with Janna, and then Alistar is not that far behind. We do have the ultimate from Victor, though, and Janna is going down pretty quickly, has to get out of there, so she is going to be safe. In the meantime, we saw a kill in that top lane to check that out.
Yeah, Nautilus, he was just zooming in. He really wanted those golems. I mean, Nidalee is just there with the Ignite and has more than enough damage with the help from the small golems to actually take down the Nautilus. And I'm surprised Vlad actually didn't go with them to try and take out those golems.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a miscommunication. They thought that Nidalee was low enough that it wasn't really an issue.
Yeah.
You know, Nautilus was close to being okay, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But Vayne, in the meantime, has the red buff.
Ult.
With Vayne, Graves, with Janna, Graves is going to go down really quickly.
Wow, so. all that CC going right into the wall, plus the slow from Janna. Graves was just not going anywhere. Now it's established that Vayne's got the damage. She has, we got the 2 Dorn's Blades.
Dominance confirmed.
And the BF sword.
Yeah.
So that's more than enough damage for Vayne to be pumping out to just, take out some of these champs one-on-one. And it looks like even like Graves. Is that a brutalizer in the making?
Yep, it is going to be a brutalizer. So it's kind of interesting. Or I'm assuming it's going to be a brutalizer. He could just be getting it for cheap damage. That's an option.
Yeah.
Just so that he can keep up with Vayne, since he knew, all right, I'm not going to finish a BF sword. Let me just get some cheap damage that I can sell in a little bit. But it could be a brutalizer. If it is, then it'll, his abilities are physical damage. It'll do more damage. He'll have better AoE, which will be nice.
Yeah.
To just get some quick burst. They already have a lot of burst as a team. The issue is that his auto attacks, won't match up with Vayne's at all, and that's going to be a serious weakness. We do see Galio getting caught out a little bit here. The slow will not hit, so fortunately he will be able to get out of there with that little movement speed buff. We'll be fine.
Yep. Yeah, so Victor has, he's gotten the augment death, so he's looking for the death ray. It's the most common augment to get on him anyway. So there's so much damage right there. The death charge going down on to Vayne, trying to punch out the damage, but the Galio will go ahead and keep him still. There he goes. There's another CC coming in from Victor. He's trying to get anyone, but no one's walking right into it. And Alistar does have to walk away. He will be safe. He will have the oracles still, but Tarek caught out in front, and a stray crossbow bullet will go ahead and take him out. Now Alistar is back in the fight. Buckshot will keep him away, though.
And it's interesting, something we've been noticing so far from Taipei Assassins, a playstyle for toys. They really, when they're going for kills, they just blow everything immediately. And a lot of times you'll see teams holding on to summoners, holding on to ignite, holding on to ultimates. If you know you're going to get the kill. Galio didn't really need to ult. They would have had the kill anyway. But what would have happened was Nautilus, he would have had a couple of seconds. Maybe he would have gotten off his ultimate, and that would have done some damage or disable. Maybe he would have gotten off a hook or a snare or something.
Yeah.
So instead of wasting maybe 1 or 2 seconds to get the kill from just auto attacks, they're just blowing everything. We've seen that twice now from Galio. He's just like, we're gonna just chain CCU. I only ulted 1 guy, but we're gonna get this kill so quickly, and then the rest of the team is just going to be too weak to deal with us because we killed you before you could even get out any damage. Really.
Oh, Vayne, look, trying to face after the Tarek. Does get stunned, but is still in pursuit. Will he be able to flash over the wall? Yes. And they don't have the. They have vision. It's so deep into the enemy jungle. They know where Tarek's gonna be going. But look at look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wards.
Yep.
That Taipei Assassins has just around HaNa's red area. That is unprecedented. This early in the game, the fact that they can go ahead and invade that far into enemy territory and to get all that vision, that's pretty nuts.
And we do see, though, all of HaNa is roaming as a team now. They are all grouping mid, so we could push. They could push this tower pretty easily. Nautilus is there. Maybe he's going to try and get a hook, but in the meantime, Stanley will easily push down top. Vayne can push down bottom. Graves, his anti-pushing capabilities are pretty strong, so he could hold the lane.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they just decide to combo this. They do have some nice AoE. I think they'll probably let this mid tower go down. They did get the bot turret. They will, do some damage to top in exchange for it.
And Tarek gets chunked out big time, but there's Alistar with the headbutt and the pulverize, and Tarek will just immediately melt to the Galio. Now just trying to get away. They did not get the tower. They did not get what they wanted. There's too much CC coming in just from Alistar alone to keep them still, and actually managed to grab a kill onto Tarek. And still, Stanley left alone. Top lane, no one's. He's just been ignored, and you do not want to do that to the enemy top laner, especially to someone like Nidalee.
And that's just some awesome coordination from Taipei Assassins, able to win a fight 3v5. They just go in, pick off someone. They have positioning. They're just kind of waiting, poking them down, waiting until they have an opportunity. As a result, they get mid tower, they get dragon, they get bot tower. Mid tower, should be going down shortly, but they have a huge gold advantage, and it's winning fights that are potentially in their opponent's advantage, but they're just able to run them in such a way that they just come out ahead.
Yep, so there you go. Mid tower going down as well. It looks like Stanley, given enough time, should actually just be able to go ahead and take the top as well, because no one from HaNa is helping out on this. There's like, you know what? Nidalee's already a little bit ridiculous. Just let her have it. Victor's around. They may try and do something here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Nidalee should be able to get away from this. Will not be able to get her in the CC from Victor, and she's just running away, free and easy. Oh, here comes Nautilus, but also here is Galio with the ult, waiting for Vlad, is out of the pool, keeping him still, and Nidalee will go ahead and be able to pick up that kill. Should be able to grab the Victor as well, but his ult lingers on. Will still die to the Nautilus, and now just 1v1 up their top lane.
Vayne taking down Taric in the bottom lane, jumping to the other side of the turret as well.
Oh, gotta take a look at this. While at the same time, Vayne is there. Perfect condemn onto Taric, right up against the entrance to the jungle, and tries to get some damage down onto Janna, but still though, just with the ult pop, that's too much damage for the bot lane combo to deal with.
Yeah, they're so far ahead. Graves can't sit in lane because Vayne has such a serious advantage. He did actually go with the Brutalizer, so his AoE does a little bit more, but actually his Nautilus going to go down. We have Alistar here as well. Boom. There's the headbutt, the Pulverize, picking up the ace.
Very well
so
done.
The Brutalizer for Graves, it gives him some nice damage, but there's no way that he can 1v1 Vayne at this point. Vayne is just, miles ahead of him. Right, and even though the farm was similar, Vayne is miles ahead as far as damage output. Has the Bloodthirster as well for the regen.
Almost full.
Right, so they can just pull multiple lanes. They can have Nidalee top, they can have Vayne bottom, and then they're winning the team fights when it's these small exchanges. And very quickly, Taipei Assassins is their aggression is just putting them so far ahead in this game.
Yeah, just a lot. Vayne just won the lane outright. Janna's been doing fantastic work there as well. Galio's been where he needs to be. Still has the teleport. He had the teleport up. He can just go and ult wherever he needs to be on the map. Alistar, granted, you've seen a lot of great Alistar play coming in from Will Walls over the time he's been playing with the team. He hasn't been too much of a factor, but he's there when it counts. When someone's out of position, when someone is he can go in right behind the towers, as we saw earlier. Just headbutt right away and just putting someone out of position.
I just love how Taipei Assassins, they're constantly on the move. They're constantly, looking to press their advantage against their opponent. There's not, a situation where they're sitting back and, farming for a significant period of time. They're just kind of roaming around. They're still getting the farm that they need on all of the, people on their team, but they're just constantly looking for opportunities to take advantages over their opponents, and it's worked out very effectively for them. It would be really, it's going to be really exciting to see Taipei Assassins versus some of the best in the world, because, this constant aggressive play is incredible. We do see Nidalee chasing down Graves actually in that top lane. He has to flash over the wall, will get out of there. And so again, Nidalee just, putting the pressure on top lane while the rest of their team kind of roams, and Vayne just sits bottom. Should be able to get that tower, since it's just Vayne versus Vladimir.
One of the mantras that, I hear a lot of people say, and I say this a lot myself, wards win games. There are currently 10 wards, all within HaNa's jungle that Taipei Assassins has placed. If they cannot go to the bathroom without TPA knowing about it. They can't leave base. They just cannot leave base. They're gonna be they have vision on them pretty much at all times.
Yeah, and there's a thought that past the river, you're not safe. Past the river, you're starting. It's such a long walk back to your base, or such a long walk back to safety, that you're not in a good situation. But the way Taipei Assassins is playing, they've just been able to constantly pressure, HaNa here, and just force the push back into their base. And now all of a sudden, it's like this is the natural line, and HaNa can't get out of it. They're so far behind. We had the headbutt Pulverize. Actually, Victor going down very quickly. We won't have the ultimate, so Toys is actually getting pretty low here, and we are having a fight. Alistar coming in once again, the flash for the Pulverize, and there's Victor with Vladimir. Alistar is actually going to go down. Nidalee as well is getting pretty low. We'll try and pounce out of there.
It's going to be quite a long walk for Stanley to go ahead and get out of that fight, but Galio and Janna are not too far away. Galio ult is up. Can go ahead and get a little bit extra protection if you can get nice. Everyone's converging here. Perfect time for Galio. Nice flash, nice ult. Stanley should be able to go ahead and pick up one more kill off that, and Vlad just outright melts to the ult. it looks like just now Nautilus is just in a bit of a pickle trying to get away. And
What
meanwhile,
was that another 5v3 that we just won? Yes, it was. So in the meantime, Bebe just crushing bottom lane.
yeah. So this is the control right now that TPA has over this game. It's getting close to nearly double the gold. It's 2-17, and this is just, for the most part, really over. It's been established now. HaNa cannot. One, they can't leave their base. Two, they can't win a 5v3, and three, just all the damage coming in is just not enough for them to negate. Not to mention you have champs like Nidalee who are at this point somewhat tanky and very mobile, very hard to try and catch out. 4 members of HaNa just cannot catch up. And even then, there's a mistake right there with shields, with all the counter initiation possible. Tornado, Nautilus should be able to get away from this easy.
Yeah, so they will be fine. And right now, everyone is just so farmed for Taipei Assassins. Once they do group up, there's not a whole lot of options that HaNa has. They do have the nice double AP.
And Vayne from behind, right through the blue buff bush. And Vayne is there. Easy kill onto Vladimir. And is going to go ahead and hunt down the rest of them. There is the double kill. Vision of HaNa too. And also the flash through the wall. Wants the triple, wants the credit. There is still a Tarek wandering around away, but he has no choice but to run in the other direction. He knows he's cornered. There's not a whole lot doing for him, and scumbag Stanley stealing the Quadra.
Yeah, so they will have to back off, and Galio, in the meantime, just going to be taking down this bottom turret. All that's left is Graves, but he's in the top lane, so Toys actually should be able to take this, and while he's doing that, his team can pick up that Baron. There it is, the surrender. It doesn't even matter. Taipei Assassins take the game against HaNa, so HaNa is out 0-3.
Yes.
Taipei Assassins sitting pretty at 2-0, but actually, we've got the match now, Taipei Assassins versus All Lane Carry coming up, and this is actually to decide this group stage for who's going to go on into this qualifier bracket. So both of them are 2-0, both of them have looked pretty good, and it's going to be a really cool match.
So this is, so coming up next is going to be the decider. So ALC and TPA, they're both 2-0. The winner of this will move out of group stage. The loser of this will go into a wild card bracket, with the other second places from Group B and from Group C, and the winner of that will actually also go on to the single limb final bracket. But you know what? Even that game, one of the big things we keep on saying about Taipei Assassins, ban Alistar, and even early game. And granted, the gank presence was there, wasn't all too successful, but still, Vayne was very dominant bot. Nidalee just got to the point where she's just AFK farming, and mid, Galio just naturally counters most APs in mid.
Yeah, no, all around as a team, they had really nice lane setups that they could win each and every lane. And by having really safe lanes, one of the things that they're doing, Nidalee is a safe lane, Galio is a safe lane, Janna makes that bot lane a safe lane. So they have 3 very safe lanes. None of the lanes are what you would necessarily call kill lanes. So a lot of times as a team, you want to run maybe 2 really passive lanes and then 1 kill lane that as a jungler you can focus on. You're like, yeah, every time I'm going up there, I can get a kill. Taipei Assassins that game, they had 3 defensive lanes. And so what that kind of does is, the jungler, it doesn't matter where he's going to go. He doesn't need to focus on one lane. He can go anywhere. He doesn't have the same, killing opportunities that you would like your jungler to have, but he can just constantly be aggressive and not have to worry about any of his lanes falling behind because they're all going to win on their own.
And in fact, he was, pretty far ahead as well. Managed to go ahead and pick up the early oracles, kind of in a way forcing Nautilus to pick up the early oracles as well, because there was a lot of great ward coverage from HaNa very early on. Right there, the pings were actually coming down. We need to go ahead and ward every single entrance to the jungle just so we have an idea where Alistar is.
And you saw, HaNa, they kept up in farm for the most part. They, weren't, just random terrible players. They knew what they were doing. You could see that. It's just that the coordination of Taipei Assassins, they weren't ready for that kind of, high-level team play. And they were definitely really strong players. Each of their lanes they did very well in, but, Taipei Assassins countered them out, and then constant aggression. The way to beat constant aggression is you have good ward coverage and lanes that you can win. And so, unfortunately, Taipei Assassins had early advantages in lanes, and the aggression. So what you usually want to do, you want to sit back, play defensive, and just out-farm them and let them waste their time. Let Alistar waste his time while he's trying to get kills. Nothing's going to happen. Didn't really work out for them, so,
Yeah, Graves and Tarek were definitely looking to push in a lot of instances. Victor, All right, well, most if you're mid, Galio is just a rough matchup to begin with, and Vlad top AD Nidalee. I mean, AD Nidalee does pretty well there.
Yeah.
So it's hey, sometimes just a lot of good choices in Champ Select, a lot of solid choices in Champ Select, and of course you gotta ban Alistar. You gotta ban Alistar against these guys sometimes. But hey, we're gonna go to a quick commercial, and we're gonna be back with the last game in Taiwan Qual's Group A. All lane carry and Taipei Assassins. We're gonna be right back. We're gonna go to a quick commercial, and we will see you in just a moment.